Reece Prescod is the UK 100 metres champion. Credit Paul Grover to the few dozen school children enjoying the late spring sunshine at Lee Valley Athletics Centre. Reece Prescod was just another person wearing running kit. There were no selfie requests for Britain's fastest man, no flicker of recognition for someone on the verge of rewriting the entire history of sprinting in this country. It was last year that Prescod adopted the mantra, "I move low but I'm bait." The words were lyrics taken from a London rap song and essentially mean he is happy to fly under the radar, but, as he explains, "If you know me, you know me." It worked a treat. Unexpectedly crowned national 100 metres champion in July, Prescod then became the sole British sprinter to qualify for the World Championship final in London a month later. Within the sport, he was being spoken about in the kind of reverential manner usually reserved for sprinters hailing from the other side of the Atlantic, a British sprinter who could prove a genuine threat to the Americans and Jamaicans. Yet even with those first buds of success, away from the relatively small athletics world, he remained largely anonymous. Content to move low. "Not a lot of people know me," he says, in his first interview with a British newspaper. "If you're in the outside world, people might think, who is this kid coming through? I was doing well, but not mainstream." Reece Prescod is GB's next big sprint hope. Credit Reuters that, he acknowledges with a laugh, is all about to change. The first sign came in Shanghai a fortnight ago when he made a mockery of the cameras trained on world champion Justin Gatlin and Canadian prodigy Andre de Grasse to upset the hierarchy by blazing through pouring rain and triumph from the wide outside lane 9. His winning time of 10.04 seconds into a headwind was just 0.01 seconds off his personal best despite the horrible conditions, and hinted at what was to come in his next race. Lining up in a field strong enough to be a World or Olympic final in Eugene last weekend, Prescod recovered from a sluggish start to power home and finish third. On this occasion, the most remarkable thing was his time, 9.88 seconds. A tailwind marginally over the allowed limit means his mark will not stand as a legal time, but it remains the second fastest 100 metres by a British runner in history, irrespective of wind conditions, second only to Linford Christie's national record 9.87 seconds set in 1993. There is a notable calmness when Prescod talks, an impression that these performances are nothing more than what he expects to be doing, and it would require something quite considerable to shake him into an outpouring of public emotion. That breakthrough victory in Shanghai, for example, was celebrated in much the same manner as a low-key triumph in Bedford. Even now his explanation for that Chinese win is almost mundanely matter-of-fact: "I was feeling good, ran well and stuck to my race plan." When you stick to your race plan, that's what happens. Considering the wave that he is currently riding, such an attitude seems almost comical, but it is the mark of a man who has developed admirable patience over the course of a career dominated by adversity. Only 22 years old, Prescod is a late bloomer compared to most of the men hoping to step into the recently vacated Usain Bolt-sized shoes of the fastest man in the world. Built similarly to the now-retired Jamaican superstar at a lanky 6 feet 3 inches, Prescod endured year after year of hamstring injuries as he battled to cope with his rapidly lengthening body during his late teenage years. In 2014 he raced just once. In 2015 5 times. In 2016 8 times. Reece Prescod celebrates winning in Shanghai. Credit AFP at an age where his peers were taking their first steps onto the international stage in youth and junior championships. Londoner Prescod was reduced to constant rehabilitation as he attempted to cajole his body into allowing him to unleash his potential. "It was annoying, but it was teaching me a lot of hard lessons," he says. "I feel like the injuries helped me with learning about mental toughness. It gave me a lot of time to focus on myself and just observe things." I missed out on all the youth and junior competitions, so by the time everything came right I'd had 3 or 4 years of proper training. Looking back now, I wouldn't want to have gone to all those competitions. It's better to be in the senior ranks than a junior who has not progressed. It is easy enough to have that attitude now. He is an adult sprinter beating world champions on the big stage, but there was a considerable amount of frustration at the time. Prevented from making the strides he wanted on the track, he attempted to balance constant training with his college studies and part-time jobs at a golf club, bar and DIY store. At one point he came close to becoming an estate agent, a career he maintains an interest in, only for his close family and friends to encourage him to keep going with his running. A 2-year junior contract from Nike in 2015 was the catalyst he needed to put all his energy into the track. Reece Prescod, far left, racing against the likes of Justin Gatlin and Usain Bolt at London 2017. Credit AFP fighting fit for the first time in his career. Last season's success was the culmination of years of hard work, although he is adamant in his lack of desire to bathe in his triumphs. Every medal he has won is placed out of sight in a box as soon as it enters his home. I very much move on to the next competition. Well, he says, I can't have all these accolades everywhere because subconsciously in your mind you start to think, I've achieved this. If there's nothing there to see, you keep plugging away. Indeed, his thirst for greater things seemingly knows no bounds. At the start of every season, he writes a list of goals he wants to reach before winter falls, with a grade assigned to incremental achievements. Each year the targets shift to become harder. For example, I'd have a C target of running 10 seconds flat, a B target could be 9.95 seconds, and a target sub 9.90 seconds, and a asterisk target would be the British record, held by Christie, he reveals. I can't get lower than a C. I have to get a B minimum. You would assume that last year's report card would have made for pleasant reading considering he came from nowhere to become British 100 meters champion and race in a world final. It was more or less a B, he replies, deadpan. In terms of achievements, winning trials was 1 and world final was 1, although I wasn't happy with how I ran in the final. Time-wise I didn't achieve the target I wanted to. There was still more to be done. Due to that marginally illegal tailwind, the last weekend's 9.88 seconds does not even count towards this season's report card, which means officially he has still never broken 10 seconds. Not that he is concerned by that particular milestone. Breaking 10 seconds is only a C, and Prescod has his sights set far higher.